I would like to hear from Mr. Tepu Kaku. What is the place of technology in business growth? What is the place of technology in business growth? We would like you to discuss on that.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks to everyone for the opportunity. The place of technology in a growing business is essentially it can give your business, it can enable some efficiencies within your business. It can help your business to gain a competitive advantage. And it can also enable your business to save costs. So I think those are the three key elements that I foresee technology having a great benefit to any type of a business. And by the way, there is no business that that cannot be touched by technology. So it's quite important.
Sorry, Mr. Tepo, I can't hear you very clearly. It might be the same for others. If you can be more audible.
Okay, so am I audible enough?
Okay, it's better now, yes.
Okay, now that's good. So I was saying that technology can play a significant role in your business in terms of addressing three key things in my view. One is creating some efficiencies within your business. Number two, giving you a competitive advantage. Number three, as a cost-saving measure within your business. All types and sizes of business need technology to advance themselves. And I think both from the back end or the front end of your business, you do need some technology interventions that can advance your business, particularly in elements such as customer engagement, product or service delivery, as well as internal operations. So it can play a significant role in creating those efficiencies within those business elements.
Okay, thank you very much. Part of our panelists also will be Mr. Mika, so we would also hear from him. Thank you very much, Mr. Kaku, because really at this time, everybody's looking for ways to save costs and still achieve, high growth and still make that desired impact. So it's interesting to know that, or to be reminded that technology will help even in saving costs and also drive efficiency. We'd like to hear from you, Mr. Mika. Yes, what is the place of technology in business growth from your perspective?
Okay, well, once again, good to be here. I think that this is a very profound question because when we talk about business growth in Africa, the context is very different from other environments. So I want to localize my response. We know that in emerging economies, there are what you call institutional voids. Institutional voids. These are missing elements in the business environment that make it challenging for a business to operate. So what are some of those institutional voids? And how does this relate to your question? I'll try and talk about maybe 2 or 3 institutional voids. The first one is information. Doing business in a developed country, access to information is not as much a challenge as in an emerging economy like Nigeria. The other institutional void is what I want to call infrastructure. Having access to the internet or power. So technology now comes in to bridge this gap in access to information, and it helps SMEs. So whereas before SMEs might have to rely on going to a physical office, now they can use Google. They can go on the internet. They can localize their search. So that is one example. how technology aids SMEs. Second example I'd like to share with you is it's technology derived, but it is not ICT. So what am I talking about? I spoke about power. So solar power is a technology. So when you have solar power, you can now charge your devices, whether it's a laptop, a tablet, and so on and so forth. So in response to your question, technology helps SMEs in emerging economies to address institutional voids that normally would not be found in more developed countries or environments. And I've spoken about information, how technology enables access to information, which is a catalyst or a key component of any business. And I spoke about how a form of technology, solar, can aid a business, an SME, in carrying out its operations. Because you know, being in Nigeria like myself, that we have many SMEs and they use small generators to run their businesses. When there's no fuel, they can't run their business. But I know from example, from practice, that once you put a solar panel, it makes a big difference to that SME. So technology aids in information and access to a key component of an SME, which is power. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mekam. So technology aids access to institutional voice, right? In summary, which includes information, access to internet and power. Well, like you had also mentioned, solar seems to be like a substitute, a good substitute for power, because if you don't have access to power, then it means you don't have access to institutional voice. So yeah, thank you very much for that. Mr. Clement, from your own perspective, just 1 minute, what do you think? What is the place of technology? We have seen it from different perspectives, and access to institutional voice was, came out strongly. From your own perspective, in 1 minute. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to go back in history. Maybe when I was growing up, I actually stayed with my grandmother, who was a petty trader. She actually moved from one village to another in those states. She crosses the river in the next village. Okay. Hello. That's by the right. So she did it right. So how do I need to drive back that experience to 2020? I'm talking about as far back as 1996, 1995. So now we're in 2020, and we have discovered that that the exchange of knowledge has drastically.
Please, I'm sorry, Mr. Clement. Unfortunately, we still have background noise, and people were not able to unmute themselves. Unfortunately, they're able to do that. I'm wondering how that setting was changed. Can we have everybody mute their speakers, their mics, apart from those speaking, apart from the panelists, please, and keep it muted. Thank you. So Clement, you have 30 seconds. Okay, so coming back to 2020, I want to say that the place of technology has affected the way we share information, the way we receive information as well, and the way we interact with our immediate environment and the world all over. Because with the aid of technology, you just have your next person at your fingertip. Why? Because once you are connected or you have access to the internet,
you are as good as dispensing information or receiving information, right? So having said that, technology has given us the ability and and what it takes to make business or transaction easy for us here in 2020, thanks to the COVID-19 or the coronavirus has also come to actually giving us another side or another direction through which we can understand better what technology has done for us. So I will stop here for now.
All right. Thank you for that insight. Okay, so let's hear another perspective or another question. So we've seen how important technology is, and it's not something we can actually push under the table, not at all. What steps should businesses take in maximizing technology for business growth now and even after this period, beyond this period? I know that many people are adjusting their systems to face the current situation, but even post-COVID-19, there is a life after that. There is uncertainty, nobody is sure, but there's certainly a post-COVID-19. So what steps should businesses take in maximizing technology for business growth now and even beyond this period? Can we hear from Mr. Maker? Okay, so unmute your mic, sir. You're muted. Unmute your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Okay, sorry about that. What steps should businesses take to maximize the use of technology? Is that your question?
Yes. What steps should businesses take in maximizing technology for business growth? Yes, now and beyond COVID-19.
What they should do is look at their current business model, identify the gaps in terms of where their strengths lies, where their weaknesses lie, where the threats to their continuity and sustainability lie, and where the opportunities exist. They should also look at trends, look at the business environment. And you talked about COVID-19. We know that COVID-19 has forced consideration for engaging with your customers non-directly through technology, through the internet. So what businesses should do, they should review their existing model. They should factor in the realities of COVID-19. They should identify those technological tools that will aid them in continuing their businesses in a sustainable manner. And then last but not least, because no business has full knowledge or full expertise in this domain of technology, they should seek out quality providers of services, consulting services in technology and engage them. They should also seek out those companies that have a bias for the SME niche. So they shouldn't go, I wouldn't advise an SME to go to Price Waterhouse or to Ernst & Young, but they should look for local talent that is competent and proven to aid them in onboarding technology for their business sustainability.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's hear from Mr. Daniel, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We're happy
Thank
to
you.
have you.
Uncle Mekam, good afternoon.
Yes.
Hello,
so
Daniel, long time.
All right. So, Mr. Kaku, let's hear from you. We've heard about Mr. Mikam talking about businesses looking at their business model. What are their strengths? What are the trends? How can they leverage? What other steps, can businesses take in maximizing technology now to ensure that they grow now and even beyond COVID-19?
Mr. Mikam started at the right place, which is your business model. But I want to go maybe a two-step ahead of that. First of all, we should all accept that we are in a new normal. So the world is never the same again. And therefore, those times of having technology or technophobia, as it's called, are gone. We all need to have, as young people call it today, techno-FOMO, so the fear of missing out on technology. So those are the earlier steps. But the business model plays an essential role because it provides you the logic of how your business operates. So how do you create value and how do you generate the revenues out of that process? So I would say, in addition, in identifying all those areas, also look at what your competitors or businesses that you are benchmarking yourself against, what are they doing or how are they doing to advance either customer engagement, delivery of products or services, or if internal operational efficiencies. That could help you to an extent to see which areas of your business can you be able to integrate technology. The other important thing I think is that when you implement any technology intervention in your business, you must commit to the process. Consider the costs that are involved in adopting such technology if you don't have adequate skills or support. And make sure that you have the right skills to be able to use such technologies. Committing to the process is important. Don't go halfway through, but make sure that you go all out to benefit from the value that such technology will bring into your business. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That came out strongly, committing to the process. That came out very strongly. And you talking about, don't start embracing things that you haven't prepared for. So you have to also ensure that you're preparing the right environment, you have the right skill sets, you're encouraging your people, you're preparing your people to embrace this technology. Interesting. And I would like to just hear points or perspectives from two other speakers, and just 30 seconds each. What do you think? What steps, what additional steps beyond what has been discussed? Let's hear from Mr. Daniel Chinagozi. Okay, while he's coming up, let's hear from Mr. Clement. Mr. Clement, what steps should businesses actually take in addition to what has been discussed?
Okay,
Can you hear me?
Mr. Daniel, all right, okay. Let's have you 1 minute talk about, in addition to what has been discussed, what are the steps can businesses take in maximizing technology now and beyond?
One thing that must happen is businesses need to understand that technology is not just a nice to have anymore. It's a must have for every business. And the steps you need to take is to start, because sometimes we overplan certain things. Okay, you want to play in the space of technology. What this technology we're talking about, it doesn't change your business. It just makes that your business becomes technology enabled. Okay, the same businesses you are doing, but technology is enabling you to do a number of things. Okay, your staff can no longer always come into the office every day, but with technology, they can work efficiently from wherever they are. Okay, you cannot always now go to the offices of certain people to market, but you can reach them via email. So you need to actually sit down and set out clear strategy. How do we go? Which channel do we use? Who do we need? What skills are available? Do we have these skills in-house? If we don't have it, who can we outsource it to? And how can this be measured? Because you need to measure whether it's working or not. If it's not working, you jettison that particular model and you think of another one, okay? There's no one size fits all, no. Every business, every SME, every small business has a solution, okay? has a solution that fits their business. So that's why, like when Uncle Menka was talking, he said you should look for local champions, people that are local, that are doing amazing things in that space, okay? And let them guide you through it. And don't let anybody build anything for you in isolation. Make sure anything that is being built for your business, you are part of the design. They said, okay, we want to do it this way. Your online presence should look like you. Your online delivery should look like your internal delivery or better. So someone should not come and build something that nobody in your office knows how to operate it. Okay? And then you now need to hire new sets of skills and all that. That's another crisis the business is coming into. Okay? So you must clearly understand the place. And then there are tools that almost everybody is using now. You sell to people where they are. You go to where they are. People are on Facebook. People are on Twitter. People are on WhatsApp. There is nobody here that can spend 24 hours without opening their WhatsApp messages. WhatsApp is like a very important tool in everybody's life. There is no day you don't watch at least one WhatsApp status. So we go to where people are and sell to them. Okay? Technology, I know there's a lot of fear of missing out. Okay? But it's better you missed out than you don't do it correctly. It's better you missed out than you don't do it correctly, because when you go out there and put your information out there and your product is bad quality, people will call you out to write bad reviews. If you see bad reviews and then copy, Instablog will carry the bad review and put on Instablog, and the Nairaland, someone will put it on Nairaland. Anytime people search your business, that's the first set of things that will come up. Okay? So you need to know, you must be ready before you go online. Don't go and give people low quality product and you want to sell it online. We'll finish you. We'll write reviews. Okay?
Yeah.
We'll write reviews and then those reviews. So my word to small businesses is start. Okay? If you're if you are in Abia and you need help, there are a number of IT companies in Abia. Okay? IG Hub is one of them. Learn Factory is there. Rad5 is there. There are a number of IT companies in Abia today that can walk you through the process of integrating technology into your day-to-day businesses.
Yeah.
And then
thank you very much, Daniel. I'll come back to you. Yes. Thank you very much. You know, yeah. And the interesting thing about this space now is that there's a lot of integration, linkages. Remember we talked about linkages. And so when you're talking about, local talents, the champions, who are the people that understand the business environment here, we can link you to all this. And Daniel had mentioned, some names. There is a lot of capacity out there, and all you need to do is ensure that you're going to the right place. And we're able to link you. That's the interesting part. And you just reiterated again the fact that Mr. Kaku talked about, that it's good to commit to the process, ensure you have adequate skills, and support. People are afraid of missing out, but you should actually come out right. So ensure that you have thought through the process. Yes, you're not over preparing or over planning or, and spending a lot of time doing that. Planning. You should actually have a timeline, but it is fundamental, it's important that you actually come out right, you prepare and put things in place, have the right skill set, and follow the process. That came out very strong. And then also talking about, it's not a nice to have. That came out strong also. It's not a nice to have, but it's a must have now. And you cannot do it, you should not do it in isolation of yourself or of your business. Your business out there should look like you. All right, talking about skills, so let's go to Mr. Clements. About skills, what skill set is required to enable businesses scale up, especially in the use of technology? In this technologically driven marketplace, what businesses is required? The businesses also to help you commit to the process. What are the skill sets that is required? And any other resource that is required to enable you commit to the process and ensure you're coming out right. So Mr. Mr. Clements, let's have you talk about that. You're muted, so unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right,
yes,
thank
please.
you very much. There are lots of skill sets that every SMEs must have. But however, there are the ones that you have to deal with using the hardware, and the internal one, the ones that have to do with your psychology. Why? Because for the period of time I have stayed on the internet, I've come to discover that you need to calculate how the other person on the other side. Now this is a 50-50 thing, because if you apply intelligence, so it's not the artificial intelligence now that has to do with the technology, but this one has to do with your human intelligence, meaning you have to understand the anatomy of how individuals or people behave and how you can relate or deal with such people. So one of the skill sets I must encourage SMEs to have is the skill of listening and communication. Now, this cuts across every field, right? But if we have the skill of listening, then you should be able to deliver quality products, because you want to listen to what your clients need and then deliver that service to your clients. Now, if you can communicate that effectively, then you should be able to deliver. Now, we also have tools that can help us to achieve this, which are available to all of us. However, it is the application that is very crucial and is very critical here. Now, that is where I usually come to train people, because as a case study of users posting and posting. They don't take their time to look at other activities that happens behind the scene. Like you post something on your page. What is the reaction? What are the insights? How do these what do you derive out of it? How did you achieve? How are you going to achieve the results? Well, so listening to the interaction of people, listening to how people relate with your product, with your brand, is very crucial as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Clements. Yeah. All right. So let's hear. Sorry. Glory Joshua, can you kindly just put your video and your mic off? All right, Clemens, we're about to say something again.
Yeah, I'm not through. Talking about the hard. Talking about hardware.
You have 20 seconds.
Okay. Now SMEs should be able to get software, because there are a lot of applications. Let me use the word application, because majority of us are very handy with our smartphones, and with your smartphone, you're as good as getting your service to anybody, anywhere in the world. So if you have the right applications, you are good. You can deliver the optimal service that your customer wants. You know, if it has to do with graphics, if it has to do with accounting, you have bookkeeping applications. Calendars can as well help you to plan your time, and you should be able to have time to rest and time for work. Even while you are sleeping, your work are still going on, or while you are on the road, because most times if you are on the road, moving or driving, your stuff on the internet or wherever they are online should answer any customer that will just stumble into it without even calling you to say how much. They've already gotten your information there. Why? Because, okay, let me say in Nigeria, it's 12:53 now. Sorry, 12:23 now. So if you are reaching or you are targeting people maybe in China, probably in China, they may be sleeping by now. Then maybe at the time when you are sleeping in Africa and other nations are awake, and those are your target markets, how would they get your response even while you are sleeping? Now, these are tools that you can put on the table for your work to be easy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Build your. All right. Let's hear from Daniel. 1 minute. What skill sets is required in addition to what Clement has said? Just 1 minute, Daniel. All right, Mr. Kaku, let's hear from you.
I would add that.
I'm still talking. I'm okay. You were not here. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry,
go ahead.
hearing you. You can leave your video on, Daniel. You can leave your video on. Just put your mic on mute when you're not speaking. You can leave your video on.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm trying to say, I'm going to be assuming that I'm talking to SMEs, small business owners that want to make their businesses technology enabled. It would be far-fetched if I start asking them to go and start getting software development skills right now, okay? Because it might be challenging for them. But there are certain skills that they need to, first of all, have an appreciation of what technology is and the technology tools that are available. And then there are certain skills they need to hire. Now, one skill that it will be on demand for 80% of the SMEs in Abia State, for example, is e-commerce skills, okay? E-commerce skills, how to arrange products properly on an e-commerce platform, how to do inventory systems so that what they sell in their store online tallies with what is in their store offline, so that when they sell offline, it also reduces on their online stores, so that people don't come to you and you don't have this product, okay? Social media skills, very basic social media skills that talks about their products and services. And some of these skills are easy to get, okay? You can get, they are easy to get. You can learn these things on your own, or you can go and learn it. I'm going to drop a link on the group chat on Google Digital Skills, bit.ly/digitize Africa. A lot of people have used this skill, okay? Just learning basic things on what you can do on your website, what you can, and so that when someone wants to build anything for you, you know what to tell the person to build for you, okay? And then another skill that is of important is graphic design skills, okay? Because some people will take your product and do basic designs and put it out there. You keep pushing. Like if you go to stores, online stores like Jumia or Koga or anything, you see different feel each time. It's not, don't build websites because we say everybody should go online. You build a website that is as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, what without end, amen. No, you are a product. If you're a product person, from time to time, do promo, because you do promo. Do things that make, that you put out there, that put up offers, okay? If you're a product person, promote a particular product, okay? You might say, this is a product of the week, okay? If you are a service person, push your services. Like, for example, if someone gets to your website now, we should know that the world is challenged by a pandemic, which means you are discussing the issue the whole world is discussing. People should come to your platform. So some of those skills, digital marketing skills is important, okay? If you don't have it, you hire one. Graphics design skills is important. If you don't have it, you outsource it. You get someone that has it, or you hire one. E-commerce management skill is important. Now, as your business is growing, you now start having someone that is enterprise planner, someone that helping you manage your platforms, platform manager, someone that helps you, okay, put all your inventories together. So, but you need to graduate into it. But if you don't have it within your staff, you can outsource it. And there's a whole lot of pool. The advantage Abia has right now, there's a whole lot of pool of skills, okay? Technology skills, looking for jobs right now, okay? Thank God for PIND is one of the partners of this program. PIND within the last 3 years had kept training, partnering with organizations to train skills, technology skills in Abia, hardware, software, digital marketing, and they are available. And I've announced it in different forums that any small business that need to hire a technology skill today, digital marketing, software developer, if you reach out to us, we will help you hire someone, because there are a lot of people that have been trained, and most of them are working for companies everywhere in the world, working from here in Abia, okay? So you can make use of the skills that are available, but if you want to learn, okay, you can also go on your own and take some courses online. Some of them, most of them are free, okay? If you, I just shared a link on the chat group, Digitize Africa. From this platform, you can learn quite a lot, or you can go to facebook.com/blueprint. You can learn a lot as a business owner. You can learn a lot of things that can help you grow your businesses online. So if you can't hire, you can learn. Someone told me, I want to really take my business online, but I don't have this, I don't have the money to pay for someone to help me manage social media and all that. I say, but you can manage it yourself. Just attend the class and learn, okay? But you need to also be careful so that you don't take yourself away from your core business, because this also requires time, okay? All the technology space in your business, the technology needs of your business is also very, 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 very important. It's not something you do, and like I said before, it's not a nice to have, it's a must have. It's something you need to give attention. So if you can't give it attention directly, look for someone that gives it attention, someone that will work with you to make sure you deliver on what you have promised. And another thing that is important is you need to be a person, a truthful person. And how about here online? Let me explain. Don't put what you don't have or you don't have access to deliver immediately, so that someone doesn't place an order, you now start looking for who has this. You know, some people used to do it you go to shops in area or in some markets, you know. I say, I want this, just sit down, let me go to the warehouse and bring it. That's called Osaya. You don't do that online, because when someone goes to your online shop, he doesn't get what he is looking for, or places an order, you are not able to deliver it, okay? He will write a bad review about you. If you promise something and you're not, online has positive and negative. If people write reviews about you for not delivering good quality product or delivering what you have promised, it will start haunting you. It is difficult for you to clean a bad press online right now, okay? So it's something you must learn to do. If you can't do it yourself, get someone to do it. And then you
Thank
need
you, Daniel. You know, I can let you go on and on, really, truly. I wish we had the whole day, but I think this is quite insightful. I can let you go on and on. You know, something you said struck me, that it's important you know what it is you want. So build your own capacity so that you know what you're actually requesting for and what you will get at the end of the day. Because if you don't know, they just drop an off-the-shelf thing on your lap. And like you said, you have to be dynamic. Your presence online has to be dynamic, not static. I took that very strongly. The website has to be dynamic, not static. And then you're discussing the actual trend, what's happening at, per time, and then another one about, I can go on about all you have said so much. But one thing, a question I will throw back at you, but I will let others speak, but ponder over it. You talked about being sincere. Some people, it's a strategy for them to be like a warehouse or a pole. They coordinate the pole. They don't have a thing. but they know where to get it. So they put themselves out there as having it, and then they know the links where to get it from. So they are a poll, they have a, they are like the collection points. So it's a poll. So that's a strategy some people have adopted. You will come back to it, you know, less in the parking lot, but just ponder over it. Because some people, that's a strategy for them, for their businesses. Just the way it is done physically, it's also, you know, can it be done online also? Is that being unsincere? Is that being untruthful? Because of time, remember also, participants, you have the luxury of asking your questions. So drop your questions on the chat room. For those on Facebook, for those on YouTube, drop all that on the comments. Drop your comments or questions, your questions there. We can pick them up and discuss with our panelists. You can see that we have a robust panelists, you know, panel, and we want to maximize our time here. Yes, I was to call on Mr. Taku after I did Daniel. So, Mr. Taku, can you kindly give us, in addition to what Daniel has talked about, Mr. Kaku, sorry, what skill set is required to enable businesses scale up, in addition to what Daniel has talked about? Okay, you're muted. Unmute yourself, please.
Thank you very much. I think a lot has been said already. But one other element, just one item that I would add is we need to be active learners, particularly of the basics of the technologies that are brought by the fourth industrial revolution. Just the basics, knowing what is Internet of Things, what is machine learning, what is you know, many all other technologies that are out there, without being caught up into the whole lexicon of the fourth industrial revolution. Because what I find is that we are so caught up in the fact that we need to catch up, and we forget that just basic digitization of our processes can take us a long way. So, but you must have some basic understanding of, you know, what are some of the technologies that are being used on the ground, and be an active learner. Take some time to learn from that. But can I emphasize just one point that to an extent Mr. Mika mentioned, adoption of local solutions. We as African people must understand that we must have a share of this market. We should not just adopt technologies that are from outside our continent. If we do that, we will always be consumers. So let us support local solutions, adopt them and use them, because it will advance our economies. You must remember that we are the youngest continent, and therefore the captive market is in Africa. So African solutions are the ones who should be in the forefront. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for that. The captive market is in Africa. We should adopt local solutions. That also came out strongly. And it also portrays what Daniel talked about. You know, if you can't hire, you can learn. Being an active learner, you know, it tells that you don't have to wait until you can hire. You can actually learn. So be agile. You know, there's something about being agile. You just keep learning. So a captive learner is agile. You just have to keep learning. It tells a lot. There's a lot out there for us to actually learn, and we should actually be very captive learners. There's going to be an open forum. We have some regulatory bodies represented here. Mr. Joita, I see you very well. You're warmly welcome again. And apart from leveraging technology for business growth, it's also about export. How can you export? Mr. Kaku talked about adopting local solutions so that we don't always be on the consuming side. Because of the way the world has gone virtual, you know, information, work can be done remotely. And so we can fall into the trap of actually being on the consuming side without exporting our own resource. So if we do not build capacity locally, how will we be able to export that capacity? So it's important to use local solutions so that we can even grow, because in using those solutions, you keep improving. And also export. So even, IT can also be exported. So if we have questions for the military bodies, son, so if we have capacity locally, how will we be able to? Okay, I'm having a fallback. Why is that? Okay, so son is here, the NEPC is here. So if you have questions, ensure that you send them across. There'll be an open forum where all that will be discussed. And another thing that struck me was, in management, we say every business stands on 3 legs: admin, strategy, operations. But technology is the 4th leg today, and it has to be imbibed. If you do not have technology imbibed into your operations, then there's a big thing. And it even has to be a standalone, because standalone in the sense that, of course, you will integrate, but in the sense that it's an important aspect of your business, a vital aspect of your business. It is no more a good to have, a nice to have. It's now a must have. There's a lot, one is pondering over. And I believe strongly that the SMEs, other business organizations, even the large companies also are picking a lot of learning from this. We want to take questions from the participants.
Okay, I want to answer the question you asked me earlier.
I'll come back to you. Yes, I'll come back to you. I'm just trying to check if we have questions. We want to ensure that we are engaging with participants. So participants, please, we want to engage with you. What are those pain points? We want to hear from you so that we can discuss these pain points, and you leave here having learned a lot. We want you to leave here going back to your businesses and implementing the learning immediately, improving your online presence and all. Yes. Okay, so Daniel, let's come back to you. Yes, please just respond to that question.
Yeah, it's okay there are some businesses that are purely online, they are purely affiliate marketers. So what they do is they get product from other platforms and then they put it out there. When people place order, they are able to fulfill the order. It's okay. But the truth, what you must do is you must make sure that whosoever you are putting out their product out there has the product, such that you don't promise, because it's you people know. If you don't promise, we have router, for example, in stock, 5,000 units, and then the person places order for 4,000 units, and you say, you go back to the person and say, we only have 1,000 units. Okay, so how this is dealt with is on managing the inventory process very well, both for you and the persons you represent. Both for you and the process. I'm not sure anybody should stock. Most e-commerce stores don't stock products anymore. Okay, what they do is that they advertise the product the people have. So you must put in your processes to ensure that any product you put out there, you are able to fulfill the order. That's what I'm saying basically. It could be your business model to use this part. I'm not against that business model. It's a business model I encourage a lot. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for that explanation and expansion of what you said. All right, so let's hear Mr. Mikam. What are the pros and cons of automating your business in 3 minutes so that we can manage your time? What are the pros and cons of automating your business?
I'll try and do it in 2. Now,
all right, thank you.
Before I do that, I want to really amplify the point of my brother, Tshepo Tlaku. I hope I pronounced the name correct. Pardon me. No. But he made a point, and I want to amplify that point. He spoke about the need to be active learners, okay? It's very, very important. But I would also want to embellish that point by saying, before you become an active learner, you must be a willing learner. So I am just aligning with him. Then the second point he made, which is very, very important, is the need to support African tech. We support our own. India has grown billion-dollar ICT industries, okay, by supporting Indian talent and Indian technology. So it's very, very important. I had the privilege of working in Botswana, not too far from you in South Africa. And I know I've been to South Africa. I know the quality of tech in South Africa. We don't have to go to Europe or to India to buy our solutions, some of them. We can localize them. So that is that. Now, in regards to your question, I think I have about a few seconds left. Now, the areas that I will focus on for an SME, finance and accounting. Look at finance and accounting. Look at HR and administration. Look at marketing and sales. And if you produce something, look at production and embed technology into these component areas, because the tools for these areas abound. Finally, very important, free, this is free. Every SME needs to adopt analytics tools for your website, for your social media, etc., so that you can begin to assess and analyze objectively the flow of customers to your site and what they do when they get there. So I've spoken about finance and accounting, HR and admin, marketing and sales. If you produce, you apply tech to production, but I've also ended by emphasizing the importance of analytics to SME organizations.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you very much. Because of time, I wouldn't talk much. Can we have Mr. Clements talk about, in addition to what Mr. Meckham had said, the pros and cons of automating your business? Thank you very much, Mr. Meckham, for that insightful information. Mr. Clements?
Yeah, all right, thank you. Talking about the pros and cons of automating our businesses, one of the pros I will just talk about is the effectiveness of what automation can do to our business. And remember I talked about how you can reach out to the outer world, even while you are sleeping, your stuff is working for you online. Now that is another front, that's another advantage of what it can do for you. Now, the cons that I would say is the ability to limit humans' interaction. The ability to limit humans' interaction. Why? Because there are still some clients who can pay you well that still needs to interact with you. So I don't think it is ideal for you to just shut out those clients from your business just because they don't have the technological means to interact with your business. Now, let me quickly buttress on this fact, because we have been talking about reaching out to people. I will quickly give an example of the financial or what has to do with transferring of money or exchange of finance from one hand to another. You discover that a lot of these SMEs have this challenge of transferring money or funds to their account when a client wants to buy from them. Now, as an SME, I must have put all my financial structure in place. I have automated everything. But what about the customers? Do they have that knowledge to pay me? If they don't have the knowledge, it means whatever I have done, whatever structure I have put on ground to receive money will not work. So who educates them? You know, when it comes to transfer of funds, a lot of people are a bit skeptical these days. Why? Because the internet is that place where you don't know the site that you are putting your ATM digits to withdraw funds or to receive funds. That's another concept again where finance is concerned. So if we can get, it was not like this 3 years ago, right? So we are kind of, we've gone to the point where people can freely give out or put their details, their bank details or bank ATM or POS, and then withdraw or receive money. But trust me, lot of SMEs still go through that process. They still go through that process. And that's another issue where things, or that is the area where I believe that SMEs can address. Now, this event is targeted towards the SMEs. How I wish we can also target this kind of event to consumers, so that consumers will understand that there are platforms that they should recognize. Because there should be something that you can see that will raise a red flag for you. Once you see that, just know that don't even dare to put in your details. You understand? So if it is allowed, maybe, for instance, let's say Jumia, let's say Paystack, let's say QuickTeller. These are the local financial structure that have been put on ground. I think some of our banks too, some of our banks, local banks in Nigeria, have started to impute all these processes to automate cash, to receive cash, and all that. Now, if we can get those structures in place, then SMEs will smile while doing their business. So for now, we'll hold on to that and let other people contribute.
Thank you very much. You know, because of the virtual reality, the virtual, working remotely, there's really that strong tendency to shut out the human factor. And there's still need, so it's good to have a blend. Even if it is a 70-30% skewed to the side of virtual, there should still be that human interaction so that it has its own place. Thank you very much. There are some questions that have come, like one of them says, how do I grow my business as a beginner? Glory Joshua, I would recommend, we had discussed a bit of that at the beginning. I would recommend you go back to the video and take your time and watch the video. It's on our Facebook page. It's currently been recorded there and it will remain there. So it's better to go back there and really take your time and listen in. Listen, to it. And very importantly also, I will encourage everybody to make out time to still go through the video, go through the recording, because there's a lot of information being shared here. Mr. Mika, I would like you to just handle the next question. Somebody asked about COVID-19 fund. That person also, I will recommend you go on, you can always contact us, the COVID-19 fund. You can contact us. There are various ways of the session. We'll put our details so they can contact us. All right, what kind of IT support do SMEs require to push their brands? We've talked a lot about this. If there's any additional information you would like to add, Mr. Mikam, SMEs are trying to push their brands. And we've talked about really being active on social media, not being dynamic, being agile, ensuring that you have the right content, and we've talked a lot about that. Is there any additional information you would like to give? What kind of IT support do MSMEs require to push their brands? Mr. Mikam, please. Okay, so put your speaker, unmute yourself.
Well, I think one of the critical things, because you see, we don't have to reinvent the wheel in Africa. We know that certain countries have had very successful development of the SME space. Okay, so we look at some countries. I will want to choose three. Let me just choose three. I'll choose Germany. I'll choose China, and I'll choose India. Now, one of the key things that has been successful in the SME space in Germany has been a focus on vocational training. Very important. We must look at vocational training as a subset of the SME corridor. If you look at China, the example I would pick from China is that government has put money in the SME space. I spoke some days ago about the Taobao, which was rural initiatives to grow SMEs by the government, okay, Taobao. So you see that government needs to put money in SMEs. In Nigeria, 99% of people are employed in SMEs. Okay? But when you look at what government money goes to SMEs, it's minuscule. I see you're supported by SMEDAN. They're not even in the news. So government must put money in SMEs. All right? Now, the third and final point is this, that in putting money to SMEs, it must be institutionalized. So you must create entities that are focused on that space, that have the funding, and that know how to, convert that money investment into impact. Now, to close on this, in India, there is a company called Aspiring Minds. You can Google. What they do is they go to villages and they carry out an assessment of people in the villages using AI, artificial intelligence. And they determine the skill sets of those very poor people. And then they identify those people's, whether it is carpentry, metal work, tailoring, and so on and so forth. And then they say, okay, this is the area you need to focus on, Mr. Rajiv. So Mr. Rajiv now is enabled by the institution of state. In India, it's called the NSDC. So the NSDC gives him a small grant or gives a woman a small grant that grow their This is what SMEs.
For me, I would say yes. In addition to that, the institutions, current institutions, should be enabled to be able to provide the kind of support, tech support that is required, so that we do not have proliferation of agencies or institutional bodies. And so we have them littered everywhere and high cost of governance without them actually addressing the points. Things have evolved. So those agencies, those bodies should also evolve and ensure that they are meeting the required needs. So they should enable these existing institutions. Thank you very much, Mr. Mika. Because I'll be wrapping up at this time, but it's good to also say that we have the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Developments for Abia State, Honorable Oyema Wachiku, and I believe my colleague Oyekachi will talk a bit about, will allow him say one or two things. It's good to have him here because he has the role to develop SMEs in Abia State, and we're having him discuss. Now, as the final words from each panelist, a lot of brands are out there, and we have talked about how they should portray themselves, right? So the area of insecurity or the area of protecting their brands, their world is out there now. The world is wide. How do they protect their brands on social media? Daniel, you can just put your mic on mute now. You can put your mic, so we're hearing the background from there. So as we wrap up, we have 30 seconds for protect. How do they promote all kinds of apart from Mr. Clement, how do they protect their brands?
For SMEs on social media to protect their brand, I think they need to have a statement. They need to have a statement about their business. When I say statement, they need to have, they need to have something that defines them. So I'm using a Market Connect as a case study. Why? Because the moment you mention a brand name connected to Market Connect, it's sync. There is an interwoven or interconnection between them. Now that is one. There is no doubt that the moment your brand is on social media and you are known, you cannot avoid people from either copying what you are doing, because people must copy you. Now, if you are not copied, it means that you are not doing something awesome. You're not doing something great. So be prepared to be copied. And when they are copying you, that means you are advancing. That is one. Now, to avoid hackers, I will say that you should have a very strong password for your account. Have a very strong password. In fact, make it so complicated. It shouldn't be something that people will easily remember.
Okay, thank you.
You understand?
Yeah,
so,
thank you very much. As we have that strong password, I pray they will also remember it. All right, thank you. Mr. Daniel, 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, what I want to say to every SME listening to me today is start. Okay, there's something called business at the speed of thought. You have heard that it is expected, it is a good thing to do to be online. Okay, anyone you can do on your own, you do. The ones you can outsource, you outsource. And my last words is, I'm aligning strongly to what Uncle Menkan has said today. The government has a role to play in SME development. It's not a small role. I'm happy that the Commissioner for SME Development is here. Our small businesses, family-owned enterprises can take us out of poverty in Nigeria. Family-owned enterprises can grow Nigeria's economy more than you can imagine. He gave an example of India, China, and Germany. I want to bring up another example. Indonesia. If you go to Indonesia, most of the products from Indonesia is produced by small community homes, in homes, and then.
Okay, network, I think. Okay, so let's have Mr. Tepo Kaku give his final word. Sorry, Mr. Daniel, yeah.
Yeah, so I would like to emphasize just a couple of things. So you must always watch out for your reputation. So there is always a reputation risk. If, for instance, you are delivering your platform through what you call it, through another deliver the product, it's still at the right quality. So have terms and conditions, your legal requirements must be in place, because at the end of the day, if a brand has your logo, or if a product has your logo or your brand, your reputation is attached to it. So just make sure whoever handles it must do it in a proper way. The last 2 points is that you must have privacy in place as well. So protect your data. Make sure that the data of your customers is kept in platforms that would provide you the right level of privacy. The last thing to protect yourself is use multiple channels. So don't just use one social media platform. Use multiple channels. Whatever content that you generate, make it in multiple content types. So for instance, we are here on this webinar, convert it into an article, convert it into a video or some other sort of form of content. So it multiplies it and it makes it accessible across platforms. And just from time to time, Google yourself, Google your company. Somebody might give your name somewhere else. See if the content that is out there represents yourself or your business. And thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that wrap up. Okay, so as a Mikam, Mr. Mikam, okay. Your last words.
So how do SMEs protect their brands? I'll give you 5 points. But those 5 points are anchored on three legs: policy, process, and technology. So the 5 points are: have an information security policy for your business, have a data protection policy. My brother in South Africa spoke about that. Trademark your brand, copyright your brand. If it is something very novel, develop, register your patent. Okay. Then use software security tools. Something basic as antivirus might help you. You never know. But there's software security tools out there. Then have a disclaimer policy, so that if, for instance, a consumer is exploited on the basis of their lack of due diligence, at least you have a disclaimer policy. Last and but not least, have a business continuity plan in place. Very important. So these 5 points are sitting on policy, process, and tech.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know how else to say thank you, but we're very grateful. And I'm sure participants out there also are extremely grateful. And we will continue to push out these words. It's interesting that it's recorded and it's on our Facebook page, so you can sit back and go over it again and again. Our panelists, we are extremely thankful. Thank you for your time, for the experience you've shared, for the insights, for the free information you have given out to MSMEs. Really, it is we that can develop Africa, and I'm happy that that came out strongly. Let us make use of the local brands we have, or the indigenous brands we have. Thank you very much. At this time, I'll hand over to my colleague, Onyekachi, then see.
Thank you very much, very able panelists. Very insightful, eye-opening information you've shared with us. We are, I think the only thing we can say that every SME here should be able to run with this information and maximize every opportunity that's been outlined here. Thank you also very much, Mrs. Hansen, for moderating the session.
Thank you.
For me, 1 hour is too short to have these very interesting discussions, and unfortunately, we would have to run to other things on the program. I want to quickly welcome the Honorable Commissioner. Thank you for joining us. We'll call you shortly to share a few words with us. Right now, we're going to be having the poll. We'll share a poll here to get your views on how you're using technology at this time. We would also want to evaluate the session, this event. We'd like to evaluate it. We'd like to get your feedback as to what you think about it and how we can improve. Very shortly, the poll will come up. I implore you to just please give us your views. We'll quickly, while that's going on, it's just going to be on the screen, so you just share. I'd like to call the Commissioner to give us a few words. Honorable Commissioner, please. Just unmute and share with us a few words.
Yeah, have your video on.
Yeah. We are all set. Most of the participants use, so sure they respond. Go ahead, sir.
Empower SMEs during this period and beyond. We know that we have an advantage as a state when it comes to small and medium enterprises. Almost every single man, woman in the state is a potential businessman or woman, and a lot of them have the energy to pursue these activities. I have been in conversations with NERCEL at the top level to bring an agro business to Abia, to the process of securing some land in the Mahia that some agropreneurs will be able to use to grow their products and then have access to a wider customer base. This has been in works for now for I think since like January. The governor has met the MD of NERCEL. They've had conversations, so we're just following up on his directives. And we have also fulfilled the governor's pledge to businessmen and women in the state to give them free business name registrations. You know, I was listening to Daniel speak earlier. I know Daniel is not here. We've been working very closely with Daniel as well. A lot of SMEs fall at the first hurdle. And I business names.
helpful. Unfortunately, we lost Mr. Alabi, but let me just thank you very much. We are afraid we will have to wrap up with the open forum session because of time. We value your time and would not want to waste any of it. We had promised that this would be a 3 hours event and would like to stick with that. Wider Perspectives is readily available to help you grow your business. In this journey of being sustainable and scaling up, Wider Perspectives is very available. We have our business acceleration program where we support SMEs to scale up. I would implore everyone present here to sign up. At the end of this event, we will display our contact details. You would want to join. You would want to reach us, even on our social media handles. Happily would serve you. Next on the program, we're going to have remarks by the chairman of Wider Perspectives Limited, Mr. Kalada Apiafi. He is here with us and he has many decades of experience in SME development. He's done this over and over and has so much he can share with us. We'll be putting up his profile while he's giving us his remarks. So at this point, let me call on Mr. Kalada Apiafi for his remarks. Mr. Kalada, please.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Kachi. The Honorable Commissioner for SME Development, Abia State, the distinguished panel. One of the things we like to encourage is private-public sector collaboration, and I'm happy that we're able to get panelists from the public sector. The WPL team, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you would agree with me that it's been a very useful session. I'd like to thank the Commissioner for his patience. He has been with us from the beginning. It's quite unusual, sorry to say, because a lot of times we have events where, after the public speech and everything like that, they run off. But I'm very happy that the Commissioner has been patient enough to stay with us. Even sometimes when they invite us, there was once, I won't mention the name of the minister, but the Minister of Finance invited us to Lagos to talk about a pre-budget meeting. And so we all traveled to Lagos. Of course, people based in Lagos also attended. But a meeting to attend in Abuja and ran away because she made some claims about employment and had to defend those claims. So once again, I want to thank the Honorable Commissioner for his patience. Well, I think the MD has said quite a lot, and the panelists have also said quite a lot. So I'm just going to maybe put what they call the icing on the cake. We're highly committed to SME development is a deliberate thing around the world, not, SMEs don't just develop like that. They're actually organizations, their policies, their institutions that are set up to develop SMEs. So I want to commend the governor of Abia State for setting up the Ministry for SME Development. I'm sure Abia State is one of the few states that has a ministry devoted to SME development. So if the Commissioner can oblige us by conveying our congratulations to him for setting up such a ministry. Our commitment to SMEs is basically because SMEs drive development. 70%, just like Mr. Ita of the Export Promotion Council said that you know, about 40% of exports is by SMEs. I didn't even know that is the case now. So they drive development by creating employment and also creating wealth. We all know that every big business in the world, globally, started as an SME, including Bill Gates, who is the richest man in the world. He started as an SME. So SMEs are very important in every society. But like I said, they create employment and they also create wealth. My advice to the SMEs, I'll just give about a few tips. The first one is you have to strive to be relevant. COVID or no COVID, I'm happy that even the people from the public sector talked about the fact that digital applications and all that were happening even before COVID. We'd like to commend that. So you have to try to be relevant. So you have to be close to your customers in the broadest sense, also your staff, because your staff are internal customers. You have to monitor your market and remain connected to the market. Like our panelists said, most of the marketing is going on these days on social media and is digitally enabled. So there's no need to complain about that. You have to flow with the market. Because I actually asked a doctor friend of mine a couple of years ago, how is business? And he was complaining about the fact that patients go to Google. And I was wondering what was wrong with patients going to Google to find out information. The truth of the matter is that, you know, even as a professional, as a doctor, you have to key into digitally enable your business. It's not only for traders or manufacturers. Even professionals like doctors have to be digitally enabled. Otherwise, they will find that they go extinct. And of course, if you go to Google and find out something, what's wrong with debating with your doctor? I've had calls to debate with my doctor when I saw something on Google, and actually, I preferred the Google cure, and it worked. So there's nothing wrong with being digitally enabled. So if you don't make yourself relevant to the market, you will go extinct. A lot of businesses are going to go extinct because they're not connecting to the market. So as an SME, more than anything else, you have to connect to the market. The second thing I want to say is that you have to have some degree of resilience. What do I mean by that? One of the things you have to do now in this era and post-COVID is to manage your cash very well. Some of the companies that are surviving now is because they had reserve cash. That's why they've been able to survive up till today and even do some investments. So you have to build resilience around managing your cash, especially when you have surpluses. When you have surpluses, it's not the time to go and get a very big title in your village or to put up a very big mansion that you don't need. I visit some cities, some rural communities, and you see very big mansions where, you know, the owners are only there at Christmas. And I wonder that why do you have such a big mansion? Okay. But if you go to the Abriba part of Abia State, it's full of nice bungalows. I know that health is wealth. It's being proven every day. So part of your resilience is also to care about. People are still debating whether COVID is real or not. I don't think there's any need to debate. There are rules around social distancing, wearing face mask. Please try and stick to those rules because it's very important. The third thing I'd like to talk about is innovation. You know, there's always been this saying that innovate or die. It has become extremely relevant now. Some of us have actually gone for Zoom courses to be able to cope. So please, part of innovation is to learn as much as possible. You can innovate your processes. For instance, like I said, you have to be digitally connected. We don't have a choice. We did the marketing of this program digitally. We didn't really write any letters to any people except, of course, we wrote to the commissioner. So please be digitally connected. It's not, you know, a lot of people, they grumble about things, but this is not the time to grumble. You have to really move with the times, because digital connection has come to stay. I mean, I attended a board meeting in Ibadan, and when I attended it, when we had a digital board meeting, I was saying, my God, I used to travel all the way to Lagos, then start another trip to Ibadan, and do the same thing coming backwards, taking me about 3-4 days. And you know, we just discussed on the internet. So please innovate, and innovation is not a complex thing. Innovation is not only about apps. You can innovate your processes. You can tweak your products. For instance, I've been getting emails, I mean, text messages throughout this week from a lab that say they're ready to come and do the test at home. That is just a minor modification of the product, because, I mean, each time I think of going to the lab, I say, supposing somebody who has COVID has been to that lab, so I stay at home. So they've modified their product. And I'm sure there are a lot of home deliveries going on. There are a lot of people that are doing deliveries, even of drugs, to your house, okay? You can also look at new markets, new geographies, just like the Export Promotion Councilman has said. There's no time when there are not opportunities. Even if there are no opportunities, immediate opportunities, this is the opportunity for good to market themselves. We've done so much on the social media that I think I would say we're a bit more known than hitherto. One of the innovations we've done, because we know that these are hard times for quite a few organizations, is we actually run free webinars every month. We had the first one on thriving in uncertain times. We had the second one on cash flow management. I hope it will be, the next one will be advertised. I think we have your email addresses anyway. And why are we doing this? Because we should be charging for these things, but we're doing these things as our own contribution to organizations surviving. I'm sure if anyone gets a tip on how to manage his cash flow better, he will remember us for life for saving his business, and of course, maybe become a client eventually. The final thing is I want to talk about for SMEs is the need to develop strong leadership skills. You know, it's one of the gaps in SMEs, you know. They hardly delegate, you know, so sometimes when the CEO has gone abroad and nothing is happening, they say they're waiting for the CEO to come. So we need to develop strong leadership skills and also develop the leaders around us. Again, a lot of SMEs are involved in micromanaging. They're doing every little thing. They're looking into every little detail. So you need to not only have strong leadership skills, but you should develop the leaders around you, especially in this period. I mean, some of the solutions to the challenges your business may be having may not necessarily come from the CEO. Some of the solutions may reside with your junior colleagues. So please use every available resource to survive this period and, of course, thrive after COVID. Incidentally, this using digitally enabled skills was a theme even before COVID. So maybe we saw the future. And again, if you Google 2020 skills, a lot of the skills that are talked about there, like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, were also talked about before COVID. So I'm wondering whether some people saw COVID coming. But if you look at those skills, those are the kind of leadership skills that, you know, entrepreneurs need, because you need to provide strong leadership for your organizations. And I mean, if, for example, you become an exporter, there's need for a lot of leadership, because, you know, as an exporter, your orders come, you know, they say supply 10,000 tons every month. They don't do one-off. So when they tell you to supply 10,000 tons every month, you have to meet those orders. Okay, otherwise, you'll be doing your business bad, and of course, the reputation of the country too, because as you export, you know, you put made in Nigeria, it comes from Nigeria. On a final note, I'd like to tell a story about my experience. I wore a very nice suit made in Aba to a meeting. Honorable Commissioner, maybe that's why some people want to say their outfits are Gucci, but that has to stop. So I wore a very nice suit to a meeting in Lagos, and they were praising the suit until I told them it was made in Aba, which is not a very good mentality, but that happened many years ago. So I want to close by saying that please, if your product is made in Aba, don't only put made in Aba, put proudly made in Aba. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kalada. Of course, coming from a depth of experience, we're very grateful you're able to join us and have shared this very insightful information. Please, 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 proudly say it, proudly made in Aba. We're gradually coming to the end of this conference, and we want to remind you of the dates for other conferences this year. Before that, we're just putting up the evaluation for this event. Kindly give us your feedback. It's very important to us. We'd like to improve in the future conferences. So please, please, please share with us your feedback. So I was saying that we have, like we had said from the beginning, we do these conferences annually, and in 4 states. We have started for this year with the 5th Abia SME Forum. We're doing it for the 5th time since 2013. This year also, we're going to have the 5th Business Linkages Forum, BLF Port Harcourt, for it's coming up on Thursday, August 27, 2020. I would ask that you please put that in your diary and ensure you participate. We're also going to have the 2nd Business Linkages Forum for Yenugua. That will come up on the 24th of September, 2020. And then the last one for the year would be for Akwa Ibom SME Roundtable. That would come up on Thursday, October 29th, 2020. Please, please put that in your diary, plan to attend. There are also contact details will be shared shortly, just as we end the program. Contact details will be shared on the screen. Please reach us. We would like to hear from you. We would like to hear your comments. Our email addresses and our phone numbers will be there. Please reach us. I want to thank our partners, our sponsors, our speakers, our panelists, and you, our participants who have been here with us since 11 o'clock today to hear what we have to say. It's because of you that you're able to participate. Thank you so much for joining us today. Follow us on our social media handles. Very shortly, just after the polls, this evaluation, we will display our details, our contact details on the screen. I'd like to say, please follow the guidelines that NCDC is giving us. Stay safe. Thank you very much. On that note, I'm going to implore all of us to sing the national anthem again as we close. Yeah, so we'll take the evaluation, then we'll sing the national anthem and close. Okay, I'll just give you 1 minute to finish the evaluation, and then we'll sing the national anthem and we'll close. Thank you so very much for participating today. Please ensure you keep the dates and participate in the future forums. The result of the evaluation is currently being shared on the screen.
Yeah, I think people can still be muted. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, just to officially close us, we'll have the national anthem now. So I'll be leading that. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve fatherland with love and strength and faith. The of our heroes' light shall never be in vain. Serve with hand light, one nation bounding, freedom. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. See you in our future forums. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you all.
Bless you too.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. Thank you, Mr. Ekpa. Thank you. Very happy you were able to make it.
Okay.
Our panelists, please. Thank you, Mr. Joe. Thanks a lot for coming. Thank you very much. Honorable Commissioner, thank you so much.
Yes, our commissioner, we're happy you could make it. And we would want to keep, maybe we'll call you after now, or if you would like to discuss something with us directly. Yeah.
I think we've lost him. I think he's gone.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Joseph, thank you very much.
Hello.
When is the evaluation now?
Right now, we should just do it.
Where's everybody here? Some people have gone.
Confirm everybody's still here.
I think everybody's still here.
Everybody's still here. Jobs. This is the first time I've seen your video. Jobs. Good afternoon, everybody.
I think we should unmute everybody now.
Good afternoon, Dudu, and everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think we should just have the evaluation at once.
Yeah.
It's better
because tomorrow's meeting.
Tomorrow's meeting.
Yes.
10 o'clock, Abi?
Yes, sir.
So you can lead that now. Well done, Kachi. Well done, everybody.
Well done, team.
Well done, everybody. Don't
I
tire
don't think I can lead. I don't think I can lead
Okay,
that.
well done. Well done, everybody. Thank God for the success. And we thank God that our network was also good. Thank God towards the end, towards the middle of the forum, is still becoming stable and better. One key thing that happened for me, our panelists were very good, very experienced, and what they were sharing, it also made me start thinking of the webinar. Instead of looking for Mr. Okoye, that we just call Mr. Mekam to handle that one. Maybe I'll discuss it with you later, Canada. But one thing that happened, and I was wondering why people were being admitted or people were coming in with their videos and mics on. What happened? And I was also requesting that I be made hosts. You know, I kept requesting, say, make me co-host, make me co-host. Because I wanted to control it from my side. And I also noticed I could put off, I could take off everybody that was not on video. I could put them outside the chats, outside being seen. And that helped. I don't know how I was able to do that. I just clicked and I saw I could do that. So I did that. But
and you're not host. And you're not co-host.
Yes, I just did it and I was wondering how it happened. So all the non-video participants, that's why they're not showing till now. We're not seeing anything like somebody's screen. As long as your video is not on, you will not show. So let me undo that. So what happened? Let me show non-video. Yeah, so see how it's showing now. So I was able to put people not with videos not on. So that's why we could only see the videos that were on. But what happened to the setting?
Okay, let me ask. I really can't say because all that was put in place. So I don't know how that happened. In setting
of specialists in that thing now. Boomsy, you're the specialist in that thing.
I think we'll go back and do more tutorials then. That's what we'll do.
Can you even hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Apart from that, maybe that's why we need the webinar setting, where only the people that are speaking. Because why do you invite people and then tell them to mute, and then tell them to not show their video? You might as well use the webinar setting.
Okay.
The webinar setting, you only have the panelists and the officiating people.
Like we now had now, you know, we now had that. Just that people were coming in with their videos.
And
so
we didn't have that because those other things that were showing were distraction. You've seen the webinar model now.
Yes.
It's just the moderator and all the other speakers. Yes. Yes, and the panelists. So anybody that needs to speak, like myself now, that I didn't have any role to play other than speak, I'll be a panelist so that at the appropriate time I can be brought to speak.
On board.
I'm thinking, do we want to look at that? I don't know.
It's a settings thing. Let them to speak. It's a settings thing.
It's okay. I was trying to. Okay, the setting that we have for this particular forum is for participants not to be allowed into the forum with their mics on. So we didn't agree to disable their mics. What we said is that on their arrival, as they are coming in, their mics should be off. So that's the setting we have. As at the time Dudu called me, I had to quickly go back to the host laptop to check if the setting was out, and it wasn't out, it was still okay. So that particular, as they are coming in, so I think what they did was that they could unmute themselves, except now we now say that we want to disable people from beginning. Then to answer K on the webinar you've been talking about, I don't know if you don't have this feedback. What we did was to increase our participants from 100 to 1,000 for the last cash flow management webinar that we had, so that it can take more persons based on the feedback of the very first webinar we had. And doing that, we increased to 1,000, and we paid for that facility, which is going to expire in a month from the date you paid for it. For you to have a webinar, you have to pay for it, and the number of participants for the webinar package varies. I sent it out to Dudu before we agreed that we should increase only the number. So having a webinar package, you will need to decide for the number of participants we want for that particular meeting. Then we pay for that package and use.
It's an upper limit.
I don't know if it's clear
can be less.
Sorry?
Can the participants be less? It's an upper limit now, isn't it?
No.
You will choose what you want.
It's a future in Zoom meeting. What we are having now is meeting. If we want to do webinar, to have the facility.
Can you hear you? Can we hear her?
We can hear.
Okay.
Okay. Some of this feedback, we'll take it now, because if we have that option, is it too expensive? Because some of the smoothest webinars I've attended are the ones with that model. You know, you're not telling somebody to mute, because some of this, when you tell them to put up their video, they want to be seen. I've attended the webinar where the man fell asleep. Instead of him to put up his video, he still left it on. You understand? They want to be seen that, okay, I'm there. And when it was even pointed out to him, it was as if they were disturbing him. He woke up and then still went back to sleep and still didn't put up his video. So, because there are merits and demerits. Because this mode we're using is mainly for training and meetings. While that other one is the one for seminars like this. So, have you finished your own comments? You know, we started.
She was asking a question. That's why she was answering.
Okay. I have a comment though. I have a comment.
No, can we just go around everybody? I think that's the best way.
Okay.
So maybe Dudu finishes, then somebody else takes off, so that nobody is left out or we don't have incomplete information.
Okay, let me take it as it's showing on my screen. I will come to Kachi and Claudia last. So let me take it. So Bumi, please, your own views, your own comments, pros and the cons, the good side and the bad side.
No, have you finished, Dudu?
Okay. Let me finish. Okay. Then I think Joe Ita, because he didn't come for the dry run, you know, there were some things he was trying to do while he was called on. So we'll have to always have him, you know, come.
Yes, and
then I think, yeah, or subsequent, you know, other people, everybody in the team.
Did you say he didn't come? He came now.
Well, maybe he didn't understand. Okay, he came that first day, right? But he wasn't active. Yeah. But you know, things like checking his background, like we did for Beckham then. He came in late, so we couldn't check all those things for him. You remember? No, I mean today. He came for the dry run, but he was just quiet. So maybe I'm saying, as he logged in today, if he had logged in earlier, would have checked all those things for him, but he didn't log in early.
Yes, he was saying that he had a webinar. We spoke this morning.
Okay.
He said he had another webinar, just like Daniel had a webinar too with Access Bank. So he was like, I have committed to be with you, so I'll still come in and be with you. That was the scenario for both of them.
But you need to let us have such information so that we don't get, you see, when people, it's like when people give apologies, you let us have that information so that we're not worried that Che Gozie has not come or Vichina Gozie has not come and that kind of thing. When you have that information, don't keep it to yourself. Let everybody know so that we know what we are doing. Then if the whatever man, the Joe Ita came and he was silent, because you know, I kept on asking, is this man a panelist? Remember?
Yes.
I kept on telling me he was a panelist. I said, is he on the
flyer?
You said it's on the flyer. I went and checked the flyer. I didn't see him, so I was confused.
It's on the program.
So I was wondering why he was so quiet. So, you know, when somebody comes and is quiet, don't really be quiet.